Hey YouTube, are you looking to get your LinkedIn ads raw data from your different sponsored messages and sponsored content directly into a Google Sheet? I'll show you how to do that today. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What we'll want to start by doing is heading over and searching for mixed analytics on the web. And then you'll be able to go to the first link and get a copy of API Connector. So once you've pressed install, you'll be able to access API Connector by going to Extensions, API Connector, and then Open. So to go and get started, let's go ahead and create a new request. Now, one caveat about the LinkedIn Ads API is that we will need to get a list of the IDs first before we can actually get in the ad data. So let's go ahead and start by choosing LinkedIn Ads as our application. And then what you want to do is say connect to LinkedIn. Go ahead and press sign in. Okay, so from here, as I mentioned previously, you'll want to go ahead and get the available IDs first. So we'll go ahead and set current, and we'll just call this something like get IDs. Hit run, and you'll see over inside of my LinkedIn campaign manager, this is the information we're going to be pulling back from this endpoint. These IDs here will be the same as the IDs over here. I'm just going to go ahead and get the ID for one of the accounts that I have spending in, so I'll go ahead and copy that, head back to manage requests, and I'll go ahead and create a new request. So same thing as before, we're going to connect to the LinkedIn Ads application. We're already authorized, and then what we'll do here is click on the Ad Analytics. You'll notice that LinkedIn has a super funky format for putting in the account ID, so make sure that you grab everything, including list, up into the end of the parentheses. And when you paste that in here, you'll want to change all of these ones to be your account number. And then for date range, just go ahead and choose the time that's appropriate for you. In my case, because this is an old account, I'm just going to go way back in time. And then I'll just select everything up until now. In the fields field, you'll want to go ahead and grab pivot value. This will help you later on if you need to get the specific ID. Let's also get impressions. We'll go ahead and get clicks. And what else? Let's say we'll get date range. That'll also make it easier to look at the results later. Next, we'll go ahead and choose to pivot on campaign so that each of the listings will be a unique campaign. And then for time granularity, we'll just set that to daily for this case. Now over here in output settings, we'll just go ahead and navigate to our new ads sheet. We'll say set current, and then we'll call this something like get ads, nice and simple. Let's go ahead and actually practice using edit fields, which is going to help us make our data a bit more manageable and easier to understand. So we're just going to remove everything. These are just if we want to paginate, which in this tutorial I'm not doing. We'll go ahead and save, close it out, save our request and run it, and we should have a pretty clean, nice and tight sheet. There we go. So we have, as you can see here, each of the campaigns, and then these correspond to the individual days within that campaign. So you'll notice that these dates are a little bit weird, so we actually came up with a solution to be able to handle this. The easiest way to do that would be to shift your destination cell over to B1, and then go ahead and run that again so that we have this space here. Next, we're going to add a custom function to be able to aggregate those numbers. So over in our documentation, you'll see under part 5 notes that there is a formula that you can copy over. I'll attach a link to the blog in below so you can follow along at a slower pace, but yeah, this is how you do it. Yeah, there you go. So you can see these are some very old ads. Awesome. So if you found this video useful, please head over to our knowledge base and you can check out in more detail how to use the LinkedIn API and how to get this data over into Google Sheets. There's lots of good information here, so feel free to make use of it and browse through as needed. Now, if you really want to dig in deep to the official LinkedIn API documentation, go ahead and click on the link in part 6 of the API documentation. And here you can really get into the nuts and bolts of how the ad analytics works, as well as other things within the LinkedIn API landscape. Awesome. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out into our Reddit community. Our members there are quite responsive on any questions that you have. And stay tuned. We have lots more applications and integrations coming up. So I hope it was useful. Have a good one.